All right, as we begin the pre-trip, we're going to walk up to the bus. We're going to take a look under, stating that we're looking for any leaks or puddles and don't see any, and also indicate that the bus is sitting on level ground. As we walk up to the bus, we're going to walk first over to the driver's side of the bus, and we're going to grab our mirrors and check that our brackets are secure to the bus and not bent. And there's this set back here. Don't forget to grab those, that they are also secured to the bus, not bent. And then go ahead and unlatch your hood. We're going to walk around to the door side of the bus. Again, the same thing on this side. We're going to go ahead and grab our mirror brackets, double checking that they are secured to the bus and not bent. And again, this set over here, secured to the bus and not bent. And go ahead and unlatch your hood. Moving back over to the center of the bus, we're going to open up the hood, grab it onto the handle, give it a nice pull, and it should pop right open. And walk back over to the door side. The first thing we're going to check is our coolant reservoir. We're going to check that it is secured to the bus between the min and the max and is not leaking. We're going to move over to the driver's side of the bus, and we're going to start off with checking our engine oil when the engine is off and cool by taking it out, wiping it off, reinserting it, pulling it back out, making sure it's between the add and full mark, and then putting it in and securing it. Moving over to our power steering reservoir, we're going to check that it is between the min and the max, secured to the bus and not leaking. Our power steering hose is secured to the bus and not leaking. Our power steering box is also secured to the bus and not leaking. Moving down to our steering system, we're going to be checking that we're not missing any bolts, nuts, or cotter keys. And then our leaf springs, there are 4 things that we're going to be checking on, that they are not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. Our leaf spring mounts are not cracked, broken, or missing any parts. Moving on to our shocks, we're making sure that they are not damaged, are not leaking, and are secured to the bus. Our air hoses can supply air, they're not cracked or worn, the fittings are secure, and there are no air leaks. Our brake drum and brake lining are not greasy, oily, or cracked. Our tires on the steer axle have to have at least 430 seconds of tread, and I would check that with a tire depth gauge. Also checking our rear axle, our drive tires, that they have at least 230 seconds of tread. Looking at our sidewall, test that it has air, is properly inflated, and I would check that with a tire pressure gauge on the valve stem where the cap is present and tight. It is accessible and not damaged. Back up to the sidewall of the tire, is not bulgy, have any cuts, and is not damaged. Moving on to our rim, is not cracked, welded, or have any damage. And then down to our lug nuts, they're all present and tight. There are no rust trails or elongated studs which would indicate a loose wheel. Now we can go ahead and we can shut down the hood, and then we go ahead and we latch it right away so we don't forget. So I'm going to make sure we get those latches in the right position, lined up, and then pushing it down and latching it securely. Same thing over on the door side. We're going to line up the pieces and then secure it down. Now as we enter the bus, we're going to go ahead and grab our 3 emergency triangles and state that they are secure to the bus. Moving up our fire extinguisher, pointing out that it is secure to the bus and is fully charged. Going up to our safety equipment compartment, looking inside for our bodily fluid cleanup kit, our first aid kit, that they are secured to the bus and the seals are present. And here are my spare fuses. Now go ahead and have a seat in the driver's seat. The next thing we're going to do is make sure we put the keys just in the ignition as a holding place. Grab our seat belt. Make sure that it doesn't have any cuts or tears, that it can fasten securely and is secured to the bus. Go ahead and close your door. Then we're going to turn the key just to the run position. We're going to turn the key to the run position. And then we're going to check for our 3 indicator lights. And if they go out, that's okay. Just turn the key back to off and back to run. And we have our low DEF, our ABS, and our low DPF lights are all working. Then we're going to give the bus a safe start by putting our foot on the brake and cranking the bus until it is fully started. And we're going to build our air pressure in our 2 air tanks to 120 psi, at which point the governor will turn off the air compressor. So as we sit and we wait for that air pressure to build, we'll just watch our gauges, listening for that governor to kick off that air compressor, and it'll sound like this. And there it was. So now we have pressure. We're going to use it by putting our foot on the service brake, shifting into drive, and testing that the parking brake does hold by giving a little bit of throttle. And we don't move, the parking brake does hold. Go ahead and push in on the park brake. We're going to roll ahead to 5 miles an hour. We're going to release our hands, press on the service brake to make sure that the service brake works and the bus does not pull to the left or the right. There's 5 miles an hour. Release your hands, push the service brake, and the bus does not pull to the left or the right. Shift the bus back into neutral and apply the park brake. And you go ahead and turn the bus to off and back to run. Now we're going to do our push and hold test by pushing on the service brake and releasing our park brake. We're going to hold that for 1 minute to make sure we do not lose more than 3 psi in that 1 minute. For today, we'll say that a minute has gone by and we have not lost those 3 pounds of pressure. And then we're going to feather down our brakes down to 60 psi, at which point the low air alarm and the low air indicator light will come on. There's the low air indicator and you can hear the alarm sounding. We're going to continue feathering down to 25 psi, at which point the emergency brake will pop out. And there it did. Then we're going to start the bus back up. And while we're waiting for air pressure build, we're going to go over here and check all of our buttons and switches, starting with our driver defrost. Make sure that it works on 2 speeds. We have low and high, and they're both working. Turn your whole body over to the left, drop your elbow down, and that's our circuit breaker compartment. We're checking to make sure we don't have any burnt or frayed wires or any foreign objects. This is our camera light. As long as it's showing green, it is indicating that our camera should be recording. We have our driver dome, our rear dome, and our passenger domes. And looking in our mirror, we can see that they're all working, as well as over our shoulder. And then go ahead and turn those all off. We're going to drop down to the next level, and we're going to move all the way to the front here. Here we have our step heater, works on low and high. Our rear heater works on low and high. And our front heater works on low and high. Dropping down to the next level, right between the red buttons is our strobe. We're going to go ahead and turn that on. This is our indicator light showing that it should be working. We'll check that in just a little bit. Around to the front, we're going to turn on our headlights. Looking in our crossover mirrors, we can see the headlights are working. Then we're going to go ahead and turn on our high beams. The indicator light on the dash is working. And we're looking outside in the crossover mirrors that our high beams are also working. And then we can turn off the high beams. Moving on to our windshield wipers, we're going to first check our blades to make sure they are secure to the bus and not damaged, and that they work on 3 speeds. We have first intermittent, then we have low and high, and they are working. And also we're going to check our windshield washer fluid by pushing the button on the end, and there our windshield washer fluid is also working. Now that our attention is drawn up and out, we're going to look at our windshield for 3 things: that it is clean, not cracked, and there are no obstructions. Looking further out, we have our crossover mirrors, our convex on the bottom, our flat mirrors on top, and our student mirror. And we're going to say all 3 things. They are clean, not cracked, and adjusted to me. After you've done that, we're going to test our hazard lights, turning those on. There are the indicator lights, and looking in our crossover mirrors, our hazard lights are working. Turn those off, and then back over to the horn. Make sure that the horn is working, and it does. Now we can turn the bus off, and back to run. Before we leave the seat, we want to do 2 more things. We are going to check our left turn signal, turn that on, And we're going to look outside and make sure in the crosswalk mirror our left turn signal is working, and on our dash the indicator light is working. Over on our panel, we're going to turn on our amber lights. One more click. That is what activates them, and here is our amber 8-way indicator. And then looking at our crossover mirrors, we can see that our amber lights are working. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our way to the back of the bus, first by checking and saying that we have 4 emergency window exits on this bus. We'll show the first one by unlatching it, opening it up. The alarm sounds, it opens smoothly, closes securely, and is properly labeled. Moving to the rear of the bus, this bus has 2 emergency roof exits. We're going to push it up just a little bit to get it started. And we turn it to exit and push up on the red button, and that releases the emergency roof exit. Looking outside, that our strobe light is working and not damaged. The emergency exit opens smoothly and closes securely and is properly labeled. And we go ahead and we pull down on one side using leverage, then we pull against it as we pop down the other side. We're going to move to the rear of the bus. We're going to test our rear emergency exit. When we open up the handle, the alarm is going to sound in the back and in the front. We're going to check outside for our left turn signal and our amber 8-ways, make sure they're all working. There's left turn signal, and we have our amber 8-ways are working. Then you'd ask the instructor if they'd like to look. And then we'll state that the door opens smoothly, closes securely, and is properly labeled. Grab our empty tag, and on the way back up to the front of the bus, we're going to check our seat backs, make sure that they are all secured to the bus, giving them a shake forward and backward, making sure that they are bolted down to the floor and are secured. We're going to make our way up to the front of the bus. We can check any of the seats that we'd like. And underneath, this is the latch we are looking for. It operates by putting one hand on there, grabbing on that latch, and lifting up on the back of the seat. And we're checking our seat frames, that they are not cracked or broken and are secured to the bus. And it is back latched. We're making our way back up to the front, turn on our right turn signal. Again, looking on our dash that the indicator light is working and that the light is working outside the bus, as well as our red 8-ways, as the red 8-way indicator is working on the panel, and in the mirrors you can see that the red 8-ways are working. On the way as we exit the bus, we're going to grab our handrails, make sure they are secured to the bus. Our steps are clear, treads are not loose or worn. Our step light and our ditch light are both working. Our door opens and closes properly. The glass is clean, not cracked, and not foggy. Moving around to the front of the bus is our safety arm. Safety arm is fully extended, secured to the frame, and not broken or has any damaged parts. Moving around to the front of the bus, we have our 5 sets of lights, our clearance lights, our red 8-ways, our right turn signal, our headlights, and our parking lights are all working, clean, not cracked, and the proper color. We're going to make our way around to the driver's side once again, stopping at our battery compartment. Pushing on the little black square in the middle, the door should pop open. Checking that the batteries are secured to the bus, that the connections are tight, that the posts have no corrosion, and the cables are not cracked or worn. And we close that back up. Going to our stop arm, checking that it is secured to the frame, it's not broken or have any damaged parts, is fully extended, and the lights are working. We're going to move to the center of the bus, and we're going to point out our 3 clearance lights starting at the top. Our 3 clearance lights are working. They're clean, not cracked, in the proper color. Our windows are clean and not cracked. The bus does not have any dents or holes. The bus has 3 reflectors in place. They are clean, not cracked, in the proper color. The bus also has reflective tape down the side of the bus, as well as around the emergency exits, which are properly labeled. And we go down under the bus and we're looking at our frame and our frame members. We're checking that the frame has no cracks, broken welds or holes, or any damage to the frame or frame members, and the floor of the bus has no cracks, breaks, or holes. Now we can make our way to the rear of the bus. 5 sets of lights. I have my 3 clearance lights, my red 8-ways, my right turn signal, my 4 tail lights, and my license plate light, along with my 2 reflectors that are all clean, not cracked, and the proper color. We have reflective tape around the rear of the bus as well as around the emergency exit, which is properly labeled. Our windows are all clean and not cracked. And we're going to open up the rear emergency exit. We're going to test in the lock to make sure that when it opens fully that it engages, and it does. And we're going to close the door back up. Moving around to the door side of the bus again, checking our diesel tank. First, dropping at the cap. The cap is present and tight. The tank is secured to the bus. It is not leaking from the tank or the lines. As we make our way to the front of the bus, we're going to say that we would check the right side of the bus, same as we did the left. Coming up to our DEF, our diesel exhaust fluid tank. Same things with the fuel tank. The cap is present and tight. The tank is secured to the bus, and there are no leaks from the tank or the lines. And we're going to close that back. Now you'd ask the instructor if they would help check your reverse lights and your brake lights. As you get on the bus, there are now 5 things we want you to do to get ready to test those lights. First thing is close the door, turn off your amber switch, turn off your strobe light, turn off your turn signal, and buckle up. Those are the 5. After you've done those 5 things, go ahead and push your foot on the brake. Look in your convex mirror for the thumbs up from the instructor saying that your brake lights are working. Go ahead and start the bus. Shift into reverse, and again looking in your convex mirrors for that thumbs up from the instructor saying that your reverse lights are working. Now you can shift back into neutral, put on your hazard lights, open the door, and make your way to the back of the bus, and you're going to show the instructor that your rear hazard lights are working. And then once you get to the back, just point them out, state they are working, and that ends your pre-trip.